Magic moments. Hello, everyone. Guten Tag, bonjour, добрый день. This is me, Zyno. I am back again. I often say that I'm back, to be honest, but I never really disappeared. You still saw videos on this channel. You still saw some old reactions being uploaded. Now, yes, I was absent on streaming. I have to check. How long was I actually not streaming? When was the last time we went live? I think it was like a month ago. Oh no, actually 3 weeks ago. That's nice. That's nice. Although our last stream, super weird because I have no clue why. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'll share my screen. Bum. Mr. Producer. Yeah, this is super weird that our last stream was actually the one that became the most popular stream on our channel. And the video that I uploaded today, it's only got through like a couple views. Yeah, this is a very weird concept of YouTube that I shall figure out. Maybe it just encourages me to stream more. I don't know. I don't really know. But in any case, today we are back again with another stream. Now, what are we going to be watching today? You all know one of our favorites YouTubers called Misha Petrov. And today, yes, we are basically gonna base our content around her content, which we usually do sometimes. Now, again, before we dive in, I will share some thoughts about this channel because I really want to change its policy. And I've been hinted by a lot of people that I should do it, how I should do it, and especially the recent views that my reactions got. They kind of encouraged me to do that. It wasn't a lot, like genuinely not a lot. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now straight reactions. We can't even hit 40 views, which is weird considering the fact how many views that we get before. So in any case, what I've decided that we are going to do is that we are simply going to think on how we view this channel in the future. We had some shorts that were going well, that I shall give, but these reactions are today I think are probably going to be more for me. There is one quiz that I wanted to go through today. Give me a sec. I wanted to go through this quiz because I saw it as I just saw the title and I couldn't skip it. Like this title just cries out loud for me to come in and take it. And since there is a quiz, I thought, why not going through it? Should be at least fun. But as you can see, there's a lot of useless information here. Let's go. Here's the quiz. I shall probably take it later. In any case, we've been waiting for apparently just enough. Let me just skip some ads. Video. Now, yeah, boom. Let me produce that like this. Okay. Yeah. Think we're all ready. We're all good. We're all set. And with that, I can start our reactions. Yes, let's go. Sorry, got some messages to reply to very quickly. Uh Nope. And this no, and then here I'm gonna be back soon. Wait, give me a sec. Boom. Nice. Okay, guys, let's do it. Reacting to your woke family experiences. Another video by Misha Petrov. It's been a while since we streamed her, and recently her stream was actually one of the most popular on our channels. It's been really like almost 3 months. Yeah, almost 3 months since we streamed her. Well, some of her videos were usually interesting. At some of them, she did go too harsh, where she simply, ranted for no reason, like that someone is bad just because she didn't support them. There were a lot of confrontations. So today we're back and watching her, and we're gonna be talking about different woke experiences. In particular, as I always say, the goal of my streams is to be as rational as possible. Rational criticism, careful criticism, that's what we're trying to take here. We don't like simple hate. We want facts. And facts prevail only when you are using your calm, cool head. Without any further ado, I actually will do something that I usually do on her streams, which is change the way I view the video. No, not like this. Not like this, not like this. Wait, like this. Yes. Because she has a lot of the time she has stuff on the right side of her monitor, which I cover. Without further ado, let's drop into the reaction.
Their whole friend group is gay or trans, and there is a throuple involved. They're also convinced they are autistic. Sometimes I feel like they can remember that phase of me, and I feel really embarrassed.
I'm studying the unseen body in creative spaces, erasure and exposure of the queer.
Hey guys, it's Misha, and welcome back to my channel.
What's
so
up?
today I'm going to be reading about your woke experiences with family members. I think it's pretty obvious that it's become more and more difficult to find common ground, both online and in the real world. And I think a lot of this has to do with social media. A lot of people find themselves in echo chambers. We are, as a country, very divided.
What's an echo chamber? Can I get an explanation what an echo chamber is?
And we can see that it is tearing families apart. So we're going to be taking a look at your experiences. But before we start, please make sure you are subscribed and have hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos.
Guys, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, which is called Philosophy with Zyno. Now, I promise that I will start publishing philosophy videos. I actually have a plan for this channel for October, although I'm not really sure yet how are we going to implement it, but trust me. Trust the process.
My cousins are extremely woke. One of them ranted to me when I was young about how trans women should be allowed in women's sports, spaces, etc. Just the whole point. Even brain-dead 7-year-old me could understand that it wasn't right. When my cousins got older, one of them now lives off of the government due to her getting a theater degree and some other stuff related to gender studies. She thinks an idea of a good time is going to my nephew's first communion and getting drunk, then ranting about how God wouldn't support LGBTQ at the venue. A lot to unpack. So first of all, what did she get? A theater degree and some stuff related to gender studies.
This is super weird. What? Like, if getting a theater degree is the same for me as getting a football degree. You don't get a football degree, you just go out there and play football. And you're either good at it or you're not. That's the beauty of sports. Same goes with theater. You go out there, you act, you learn it through life, and you either get the roles or you don't. Like, what is even a theater degree? That's the dumbest. That's the biggest scam ever. It's even bigger scam than gender studies. I will explain my opinion. At least when you do these gender studies, you in some way learn some sort of biology, maybe anatomy. You at least have something. But theater skills, theater degree, is one of the only degrees that you don't really give a flying thing once you're out there at this scene, because trust me, when you're at the audition for your role, no producer or cast director will look at you and say, with his eyes, and say, ah, yeah, you have a theater degree, the role is yours. No, they will not do it. They will look at how you perform. So please be ready to perform. That was a big rant on theater degrees, but they really, really, really do sometimes piss me off.
I recently saw that video that went viral where I think it was NYU. They were talking about the kinds of degrees that they got. And it's like, okay, how are you then going to complain about not being able to find a job?
Hi, I'm Melanie. I'm studying the unseen body in creative spaces, erasure and exposure of the queer.
Yeah! I'm Joyce. I study decolonial intimacies, indigenous politics, and resistance. Yeah!
The problem is here as well. I bet you. Oh wait, give me a sec, because the screen put me badly. But I bet you that none of these girls can explain what they're actually studying. They know the name, but they can't explain it. And that is the problem that I have with these degrees. I study philosophy, guys. At least I can explain what I do. You may not agree that it's a great thing to do, but I know what I'm doing. They have no clue what their class is about.
Hi, I'm Nunyala. I'm studying living artfully, art as ritual, therapy, and pathways of decoloniality.
Yeah! Natalie, and I'm studying fashion history and gender studies.
Yeah!
Okay, at least she can explain what is fashion history and gender studies.
And I studied phenomenological approaches to Black womanhood, specifically.
Explain the word phenomenology. You can't even explain that word, and you're ranting about it. You're using it in your language. That's embarrassing. You shouldn't be doing this.
I'm Ava, and I study I'm woman, fugitive family, relationships, and identity.
Go ahead, tell me what the word fugitive means. Like, I am absolutely confident half of them won't even explain it. They don't even know the definitions of the words they use. That is my problem, not the degree itself. But you can already see it on the layer, on how it's formulated, how it's phrased.
Black woman!
Finding work is hard enough on its own, even with a useful degree. But when you're majoring in gender studies or anything that we just heard, right, from that video, I mean, what are you paying for? What are your parents paying for if that's what's going on here? It's just a waste of time. Like, you can make lattes without that degree. Hi, Misha. This is a 17-year-old Lithuanian English girl speaking here. My mom
Lithuania. Love that country, by the way. Should go there soon again.
Is a raging woke apologist. She bullies me into having her opinions in every way. In her eyes, it's not okay to have any other opinion apart from hers. She has scolded me for saying that children shouldn't be trans or non-binary. If a 5-year-old is saying they're non-binary, they've obviously been indoctrinated by either school or parents.
We have a 2-year-old intergender baby and a 10-year-old.
Their children are also non-binary and trans. What are the odds, right?
Just told me she won't use my pronouns and that she is not an ally. The word won't needs an apostrophe. FR, right? It has to have commas in the middle. You can't even write in your own language. There should be a period after what the fuck. And you want me to take you serious.
Feminism has become toxic. Bullying men just for being male is not okay. You can get the idea. This gets worse when we discuss geopolitics. She called me a fascist for saying that we need to stop arming Ukraine, and she called me racist for saying that illegal immigrants should not be allowed to stay in this country. What's worse is when we talk about Israel-Hamas.
And that is why it's a lot of the times when it's time to talk about Ukraine, always should be careful with what you say. And especially, like, this is so dumb, because if this is actually someone who represents the idea of helping Ukraine, you're giving us a bad look. don't do it. Just don't do it. Leave it to those who can explain what they are thinking about.
She made my life a living hell when it was Eurovision. She made me feel very uncomfortable and bad about myself for my stance on the conflict. She did this to spite me for choosing for myself whether or not I wanted to enjoy my favorite time of the year, which she still chose to ruin just because I didn't give in to her bullying. So I'm assuming she didn't want you to watch Eurovision? Probably, I'm guessing, because they let Israel perform. That just reminds me, though, of
Okay.
Ireland's performance, right? That was something. That was great. Eyes because I wasn't supporting freedom fighters. Girl, that's so interesting. So feminism has not become toxic. So okay, we're feminists, right? We're modern day feminists. But we're not going to say anything about the raping of women by Hamas. In fact, I've seen so many people online who were talking about the kidnappings and they were saying, well, Hamas is just so great. None of that actually happened. The level of brainwashed nonsense. It's one thing to say, oh, you're pro-Palestine, okay? We can have that conversation. It's another thing to be pro-Hamas. They're freedom fighters. I mean, can we be surprised with what we're seeing at these rallies and online? No, but it's still very unfortunate and must be a very difficult situation when that's your own mother. Let's just say I'm going to be very happy when I leave home for work. What especially stood out for me, I mean, the Hamas thing, obviously, but also this point about men bullying men just for being male is not okay. So she thinks it is okay to bully men just for being male. But it's fine,
I'm used to it. Bring it on.
I guess, as long as they're the oppressors, okay? So, like, for example, it's okay to be racist towards white people because they're the oppressors. My sister, when she was fairly young, maybe 10, said she was trans and secretly started going by a new name. She didn't go through with it fully, but she did try to socially transition at home. My dad wouldn't let her as our mom had just died and we were obviously busy with other things.
You okay, yeah, that's a sad story. We're not gonna make that much of jokes about it, but
Okay, so it might have been some kind of like trauma response. A year later or so, she stopped saying she was trans and became more conservative. I am really glad that nothing permanent ever happened, but it does always anger me when leftists say that there are no child transitioners who later regret their decisions. Oh, there for sure are, and there will be, unfortunately, more and more as time goes on. What if she
But that is also like a thing. There will always be someone who is happy with their choice, and there's always someone who isn't. You just have to find what's the majority in it.
had made that decision later? Exactly. What if she permanently changed her body only to find that it wasn't for her? This is one of my main issues with child transition. Another thing is whenever detransitioners go online and talk about their experiences, the woke mob will attack them and say, no, you were never trans. Or, oh, don't listen to them. They just want attention, this and that. It's like you are only willing to hear from others and validate them if it goes along with your narrative. When they've realized they made a mistake, and a lot of them were brainwashed into this, adios, you're not useful to us anymore. I mean, this is psychopathic behavior. Last October, I came out to my parents. I'd been in the closet for 3 years, wearing a mask, nodding at lies, laughing with John Oliver. I came out as a straight political moderate. So heavy on the John Oliver part. I remember we were shown John Oliver in high school, and he was talking about Trump, and he was making some jokes. I never found him funny. Like, I remember looking around, I was like, yeah, no one is laughing at that. So I'm just wondering who genuinely likes John Oliver. Pretty much a bit after quarantine, I was probably like 13. I got really into LGBTQ TikTok. I already knew I was bisexual, still am.
I think I saw this John Oliver guy somewhere. No clue where, but I think I did saw him.
But I also started to question my gender. My family is pretty centric with their LGBTQ views. They believe in gay marriage and stuff, but TikTok had convinced me that wasn't enough. I convinced myself that my parents weren't supportive of LGBTQ and how they're transphobic. And since I thought I was gender fluid, I thought they hate me too. But pretty much I tried to bring up the topics of LGBTQ just to argue and try to change their perspective. I started kind of resenting my parents and thinking they were the worst. This went on for a few years, until around 2023, when I realized how far left and wrong my ideas were. My relationship with my parents has definitely gotten better, but sometimes I feel like they can remember that phase of me and I feel really embarrassed. We have never seen...
Shit happens. When you're a kid, when you're young, you think you know it all, and then you're trying, especially the funniest part is that you're trying to convince your parents that you already know it all. Whereas you're still a young, dumb fuck. Take it from me, guys, if you need an example. I do believe that I know hell a lot, and at the same time, I have no clue about like half of what's going up in this world. And compared to my parents, it's not even a quarter to what I actually could know.
In the digital age, obviously all of this is new, but the amount of people online trying to turn children and teens against their parents and their families and calling anything and everything bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, racist, sexist, whatever. It's like we've never seen this before in terms of these online communities telling you that. So give yourself a little bit of credit that, you know, better late than never, that you realized, okay, I was.
Parents will understand this because they went through exactly the same thing. Like, if there is one thing that I've learned, especially from my past couple months of experience, is once you realize that everyone around is as dumb as you, life just suddenly gets easier because you can see everyone is the same. There are really a limited number of exceptions, but the general idea of a human being is the same. We're all dumb. We're all think at the same time that we're the smartest, and at the same time we're not all the smartest. So it's all good. It's life. Shit happens. You moved on. You admitted the mistake. That actually is brave. Imagine you're ranting about something for months or even years. I haven't seen how long. And then you come out and say, "Yeah, sorry, I was wrong. My bad. I apologize. I'll show it in action in the future." That is brave. I'll give you that. Good for you.
Taking things too far. For me, especially with the sexism and, you know, modern day feminism, I would just get really angry and have all these meltdowns and not actually want to, you know, listen to them and have these discussions. This whole thing definitely strained my relationship with them back when I was a leftist. But in the end, I said, sorry about that. So you're definitely not alone with that. Before I move forward, I want to thank today's sponsor. We're next Connect and you've been count and experienced harmful intentions what they board EQ including feel the math to know. For your kid to come home comes, will you know how to pay your taxes? Will you know basic math, history? Will you know where you are on the map? This is more important, in my opinion. This is very relatable and personal to me. I have autism, and one of my special interests is East Asia. And one thing I really like doing is dressing in the traditional garb and hairstyle. However, my mom has always been adamantly against this, claiming that it's racist and cultural appropriation. There was even a time where I wore my Tang suit to my sister's school play, and my mother told me not to sit next to her, claiming she didn't want to associate with me due to how I dressed. Interesting. You know, I'm assuming
There's this is an actually simple one. There is a video online. I'm not gonna put it on due to copyright factors, but there is this dude online who dresses into different cultures. He puts on their costumes, their suits on, and then he goes around and asks people if that's offensive or racist if he is just wearing it despite him being American. And a lot of the people who have nothing to do with this culture say, "Oh, yes, you're offending them, you're discriminating them." Whereas the people from that culture actually like it. They say, "My man, that's such a nice outfit," and stuff like this. They compliment it. So really, if you like dressing up like this, feel free. Just don't, so to say, if you put it on, at least have some support of the ideas and etc. Don't just put on stuff you have no clue what's related to it. At least know the history of it. You know what it represents, what it means, how do you actually put it on in that culture. You know, these tiny details. Trust me, very helpful advice.
my mom due to her constantly trying to get me to mask my autistic traits under the guise of wokeness. You know, but even if you weren't autistic, like even if someone wants to show their appreciation for that culture, so like unless there's a specific dress code to an event, why can't you wear that? I'm curious. Let me know. Would that bother you? I don't understand the big deal here, right? I remember we were talking about the RCTA community, race change to another, which is usually like a bunch of trolls, but some of them really are delusional and think that they can change their race to their desired race. So it's like a transracial sort of thing. And there was this one black girl on TikTok who was saying that she is transitioning into Russian wearing a fur hat, and the transition is totally happening. You can be a black woman and wear traditional Russian clothing, right? Who cares?
Although we do not support it.
Genuinely, who cares? Like, maybe really, really bored people care, but I promise you, no normal person's gonna look at that and say, no, bad, that's mine. It's cool. They like it. Or with the hairstyles, why people can't wear certain braids. Get over yourself. Okay, you cannot own a hairstyle. So cultural appreciation, I think, is fantastic, right? If you're doing it in a respectful way versus, of course, someone who is purposefully making fun of a culture, like, oh, this hair is so crazy, haha, or this outfit is so, like, weird. That's a different situation. But if someone is really interested in your culture, they really like that style, cool. My entire family, except me, is woke or a liberal who thinks Trump is the boogeyman. Whenever politics come up in the conversation, that's my cue to leave the room because I don't want to get into a fight. A lot of people suffered.
Why do you care? Like, genuinely, why would you care? You're doing the right thing. Just get up, go to the room, do some work, become somebody, and then share your thoughts. Trust me, you'll never escape these fights. So you might as well just take them in a more chill way.
From Trump derangement syndrome and still do. However, after this debate, a lot of people are switching up and they're saying, you know what? Whatever was going on with Biden and isn't new, you know.
This video was done after, like, not long after the Trump and Biden debate. So Kamala Harris is not yet a candidate here.
Things have gotten the left saying it's a conspiracy.
President Putin
is non-binary, which I don't have any real issue with. It can be annoying sometimes, but that's my own problem. But they are literally the definition of woke. Their whole friend group is gay or trans or furry, and there is a throuple involved.
Why are you throwing furries into it? They have nothing to do with this community. Stop throwing everyone. I'm sick and tired of this already. It's not how it's supposed to be. Furries should get their own community.
My parents are so loving and accepting and try so hard to accommodate to their ideology. At dinner, my sibling was talking about their friend who uses all pronouns, and my dad asked my sibling to remind him of his friend's pronouns because previously they only referred to the friend as he. My sibling got so upset and complained that they had already explained it so many times to us. They hadn't. How were we supposed to know? There are people right now who are seeing the effects of war, right? Like, they're literally struggling to survive day to day. And then there are people who have a loving family who's willing to try and learn about some random person's pronouns at dinner. We really have to put this in perspective sometimes. They're also convinced
To be honest, you're talking about a kid. Like, if I understood this situation correctly, okay, your sibling is 18. Yeah, that's not a kid. Now, that is already a bit too old. You can't be talking to your parents like this, especially when you're 18.
Are autistic, even though they have never been diagnosed or even seen a psychologist. They will straight up talk about their autism that they don't even have. Well, yes, there is more awareness and it's easier for someone to recognize, oh, I have autism. Okay, cool, good. But then there are also people online, on TikTok especially, who want to be special so bad and they'll give themselves that diagnosis. And then they make that their whole personality, obviously. I mean, I remember someone was like identifying as a doll and they're saying, well, it's
Oh, I do remember this.
because I'm autistic, so I don't view gender the same way as a neurotypical person does. Congrats! That is so cool. I'm not going to call you a doll. Yeah, so just because you scrolled on TikTok for 6 hours and you decided you're autistic and you think you're a mason jar, that is so cool. I am so proud of you, right? What an accomplishment. That doesn't mean everyone has to now refer to you as a mason jar. Truly sounds like a you problem. I haven't seen or spoken to my middle sister, let's call her A, in over 4 years because of politics. For context, I have 2 older sisters. I'm 31, sister A is 33, and sister J is 36. Granted, her and I haven't always had the best relationship, but it took a turn for the worse in 2020. Not surprised by that year. This all started when Trump was running for president the first time. My sister, who had shown no interest in politics before, had suddenly become the world's leading expert on every issue. My parents are both traditional conservative people, so this caused many arguments between her and particularly our dad. But then it soon snowballed into her taking shots at the entire family. She would refer to my dad by his first name, instigate arguments instead of fostering open discussion, proudly boast as a socialist in her Instagram bio, and even took to Facebook to essentially announce to the world that her immediate family were all racist and that she was distancing herself from us. The funny thing is, neither Sister J or I would classify ourselves as conservatives. Sister J is very liberal and isn't annoying about it, lol, and I land in the middle. However, Sister J and I don't feel the need to let it drive a huge wedge between our parents and us. Currently, Sister A only...
Hey, I can get a lot of things. Like, I do get politics, conflict, disagreement in opinions, but hey, loving parents are one of the most rare things ever. So don't be an asshole about it and give the people that strive their whole life to deliver you the life you wanted, give them some appreciation and respect, instead of all this. Come on now. The amount of things they have suffered for you to be even able to go on Facebook is enormous. But maybe I just don't understand something. That also might be true. I've been proven a lot of the times over the last couple months.
Speaks to our mom, and the communication has been on and off all these years. My dad has completely given up on the hopes of a relationship with her. Sister J has no interest in it either. She used to be the peacekeeper, but it all even became too much for her because her instability and outbursts were becoming taxing on all of us. My mother obviously still has hope and always has, but Sister A...
There's no person that's gonna love and believe in the child as much as the mom, so that makes sense.
Has never offered any type of apology to our mom. I'm on the fence. I'm not closed off to the idea of rebuilding things with her, but that would require a lot of apologies, and she is too proud to do so. These same people always talk about privilege, right? And they call everyone else privileged. You're out here saying, I'm never talking to you again. I'm going to disrespect you in this way because of Trump. Because of pronouns. I mean, you're showing your privilege. I wonder, do they ever talk to someone who's had an actual, abusive family member where it would make sense for them to actually distance themselves from that person? Once I detransitioned, despite never saying anything bad about trans people, just because of my detrans experience, all of my liberal/trans friends completely ghosted after 4 years of friendship. Grandpa's wife doesn't talk to me. Now, although I have conservative views, identifies politically homeless. Actually, one of the best ways to identify, I'm going to be honest with you. Because I've watched woke culture and the politics of it tear apart many family members. I swear no one was fighting this much before woke culture. Her parents said that my girlfriend is trying to become a pilot to fight the patriarchy, since about 95% of pilots are male. My girlfriend chimed in and said, I just like airplanes and there's a need for pilots. Since we're on the subject of aviation, I mentioned that I was already a pilot and working on becoming a certified flight instructor. That is so cool. I love flying. And I remember when I was a kid and I was about to get on a plane, I, for the first time, saw a female pilot and she was like older and I was like, wow, that's cool. I usually, only see guys.
I'm almost across the Pacific. Oh no, my period!
And I think it is so sad that nowadays, most of us, we would see that and we would think, is that a diversity hire?
Committed that 50% of the class of the classes will be women or people of color. We have programs to, one of the things we do is for every job when we do an interview, we require women and people of color to be involved in the interview.
Doesn't matter if not that many women want to be pilots, we need to find them. We need more black female pilots. We need more black trans female pilots. How about we get pilots that want to be pilots, that are good at being pilots. Like, that's what I think most of us care about when we get on a plane, right? And it's the same thing for the actual pilot. I feel like you'd probably want to know that you got there based on your own merit and what you're capable of instead of your gender, right? Instead of your sexuality or your skin color. I guess this was the wrong move because my girlfriend's family immediately called me toxically masculine. I asked why, and her mom said, all men want to do is be loud, obnoxious, and pollute the atmosphere. Okay, so it's okay.
So that's why for me as a white straight guy, there's not gonna be a problem. Because you're gonna know, hey, if there's gonna be shit done, you're gonna know how and who got that job done.
Okay for the women to pollute the atmosphere. My girlfriend jumped in and said, aren't I doing the same thing by becoming a pilot? I think she broke her parents by calling out their hypocrisy because it took about 20 seconds before her mom said, that's not the point. You're fighting the patriarchy. My girlfriend replied with, I'm not trying to fight the patriarchy. I'm just passionate about aviation. Yeah, so like I said, because of these DEI policies, it's sad that a lot of us, that's what we think of now, you know, is that person really qualified? I feel like we were heading in the right direction in terms of women's rights, in terms of fighting racism, and then something happened. And then instead of focusing less
social media happened
on someone's gender or their race, we start to focus more on that. Like, that became the most important thing. And we need this many black people. Let's get rid of more white people. Disney, for example, very recently said, we don't need white men.
How would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male in this role. They're not considering any white males for the shop. He was half black, but didn't like appear half black. They wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way.
People started to focus on the wrong thing again, this time thinking they're being more accepting and tolerant, but they're just as bad as the actual sexist and racist in the past, just directed to the other sex and the other race. When you have these discussions with your family members, it's good to have a goal in mind, right? Like, can we find common ground, even if it's something small, or make some rules, like no politics at the table? I don't know, like if you really can't avoid these kinds of fights, and try and focus on the shared values you have and some things you do agree on. And if you yourself have any advice or some experience with these sorts of political discussions or debates with family members, please make sure you comment about that below. Also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification.
Basically, moral of this story, guys. Moral of this story. Become a someone to make your opinion valued. Because trust me, the more you grow as a human being, the more you're going to be listened by other people. So with that being said, I wish you all to grow as big as each of you want. We're gonna go into another reaction, at least one reaction we're gonna do today, although I have no clue how I'm gonna go through it because I'm super tired. There's my bed over there, and I can't wait to put my head on it and lie and pass out. But we're gonna watch another reaction right now. Although for those of you who are watching me right now live in replay on YouTube, I will see you in my other reaction. Don't forget to comment below. Yeah, that was a nice ending to a reaction. Although sometimes sometimes it looks clumsy, but in general, it's still all good. I think I still got some of it. Sure, the channel policy is gonna change. Oh my god. It is gonna change a bit, but we're gonna still keep it up. So going now to reaction number 2, which is white people are a threat. Anti-white TikToks are insane. We're watching Misha Petrov in the Misha Petrov stream, and we're gonna discuss 2 things. I am really gonna stick right now with 2 things. Number 1, we're either gonna try to rationally criticize some of the ideas or videos that we're gonna see right now on YouTube, or number 2, I'm just gonna skip it. If it's just full of crap with no real argumentative ideas, I just skip it. So without further ado, let's jump and dive into the reaction. Wait. Here's the button.
People. And y'all want.
Wait, give me a sec. Oh, let's keep it. No, let's actually change because Misha's gonna watch from that side as well.
Wonder why I say keep black spaces black. Do you mean nobody beat your ass? Like,
because of braids.
White oppressors came up with Good Morning as a mockery towards black people during the slavery times.
Speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid correcting them.
Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel.
What's up?
So today we have to take a look at some more anti-white news and videos. So listen to this. Apple Entrepreneur Camp applications are now open.
Okay.
Oh, great, exciting. Applications are now open for female. We don't know what Apple means by female yet.
Exactly.
We'll look into it. Black, Hispanic/Latinx, and Indigenous founders and developers. Okay, so if you're white or a man, you cannot apply. Let's not focus on.
That's why you should go out there and pull your shit together and just do it on your own. Nobody is here to save the white straight gay. The white straight gay. I'm already passing out. The white straight guy. So just take a shovel and go work.
On qualifications.
I
Let's focus on those racial quotas. Your organization must have a Black, Hispanic, Latinx, or Indigenous founder, co-founder, or CEO. And at the bottom it says, Apple believes that gender expression is a fundamental right. We welcome all women to apply. Okay, so there's a way you can get around this. If you're a man, not if you're a white man, but if you're a man of color, you can call in and say, well, I identify as a woman. It said female before, now we're saying woman. So glad we're focusing on what actually matters, your gender and the color of your skin. Oh, you've been on hold for 2 hours? You should have peace of mind because white people and men have been banned. This is a response to this comment.
This is also an important thing. That is why eventually the man has the peace of mind. Okay, no aid, but why can't the white person do this? I have had box braids, dreads, and the afro bubble ponytail. Nothing happened. Not have what?
Okay, no hate, but why can't a white person do this? I have had box braids
on a regular basis. Because white people will just blatantly disrespect us when a black voice is literally telling you, like, hey,
oh, literally,
don't do this, and then you're just like, why? I do it all the time and nothing happened. Like, what do you mean?
I do get, though, I do kind of get the criticism here. The argument that you do something all the time cannot be used as a way to justify an action. The simple fact that you do it all the time is not a justification of it. The reason why you do it, the things you do during it, sure, that could be, but not just I do it all the time, so it's just right because I do it.
Nothing happened. Like, do you mean nobody beat your ass? Like, do we need to assault you in order to give us basic human respect?
No, but thanks for exposing yourself and letting us know what you really want to do. I want you to think about how ridiculous that sounds. Do we need to assault you? Do we need to beat your ass to get basic human respect?
Do you mean nobody put their hands on you?
Because of braids. No, that makes sense. No, yeah, that's a hate crime. Honestly, it's worse than slavery. I don't know how she went on to even film this. If I were her, I would be sobbing uncontrollably because a white person was wearing braids.
Do you mean nobody felt comfortable enough to say something to you? Because as a white person, you're a threat? So us saying something to you in...
We are a threat, my friends. Well, I guess if this girl said it, it should be true.
Person is literally putting us at risk? Do you mean nobody put themselves in a position to where you can play a victim, act like a white woman, call the cops and get us killed for it? Is that what you mean when you say nothing happened? White people are not only...
Okay, no, we lost track with her. She's just dropping everything here. I can't listen to her. Give me this white girl.
Today, I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company.
Cool.
We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season.
Wait, what's BIPOC women? Give me a sec. I should Google it. Black person. Oh, okay. Black person and person of color. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the explanation.
This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good.
Yeah, you should use your voice less.
Spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too.
I bet. You're plenty toxic.
We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself.
I wouldn't dare.
As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you
That is
find
true.
yourself...
This phrase is absolutely true. You should use your privilege to make actual changes. And a lot of people hear it and then they do it wrongly. So if you are someone who is listening right now and you are dreaming to move the world, just think of it twice. Think about this phrase twice. You should use your privilege to change everything for the greater good. That's ultimate, guys.
Talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Exactly. Exactly. Let them be dumb. You go, you improve your skill issues, and then 15 years later, we shall see who succeeds more in life. Someone who was corrected when he was doing a mistake, or someone who was, so to say, respected for doing the mistake. This was a rhetorical question.
Do learn from and amplify the voices of those who have been historically marginalized, and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change. As white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn.
God, how long are you speaking? I
So
can't
much
take this
of racist
anymore.
lefties so well. And if it's surprising me, someone who has seen so many of these unhinged anti-white videos, you're also going to be shocked, okay? Because there are moments when I think I've seen it all. Nothing can surprise me. It cannot get worse than this. Oh, but it can. And it does.
It always can.
Also, if you watched Lady Ballers and you like Matt Walsh's character in that, which I did, I was thinking the entire time, I need more of that, because he played that role so well, it was so funny. He had to be in disguise, and he brought the sort of character back, and it definitely did not disappoint, so you're gonna love this movie. It hits theaters September 13th. You guys should definitely go.
Daily Wire definitely paid her for this promotion. I am voila. There's a code.
Man, and I'm gay, and I have been pregnant, and I've had an abortion before, and I don't want to lose that. I'm afraid of not being able to be myself anymore, because from what I've heard, Trump's America doesn't want me to look like this. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why I'm voting blue.
What about you?
Hey, at least the person argumentatively explain. Like, they have their lifestyle. They don't want it taken away. The ideas that the other side pushes will take them away. This is a good answer. And again, I'm not saying that I agree with this person. I'm not saying they are correct. But at least I can respect them because they can give a rational, argumentative explanation on why they are doing this. And I would much rather speak to this person than someone who is just blindly defending ideas that I support, even if I support those ideas. I would much rather talk to this person.
I've also been pregnant and had an abortion before. I was a minor, and it would have been dangerous for me to properly, it would have been dangerous for me to carry a baby. I'm very,
Why are you sleeping around then? That's the dumbest shit ever. If you're not even willing to have a risk of getting pregnant, why then sleep around? Like, I'm sorry, I will never understand. I will genuinely never understand why would you sleep with someone if you know that you always have a risk of getting pregnant. Oh, but the protection. Fuck protection. It works in 99% of the time. What you gonna do with that other 1%? What you gonna do with that 1%? Get an abortion. That's what you decided to do. Pisses me off.
Alternative.
And I feel like if Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to like express myself through my looks and everything.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I'm also very worried about the ban on alternative makeup that Donald Trump has proposed many times. Very concerning.
I wouldn't be able to have the piercings or the dyed hair or the tattoos that I want. You know, I would be able to be myself.
So let's talk about where the word good morning originated from. Good
morning is not a word. It's a fucking phrase. You don't write good morning to say. How are you so bad with your grammar? I'm having a meltdown here, but I honestly never understood. This is your language. Your native language. You wrote this. You checked the video before publishing it. How do you not spot this?
Morning. All right, so during slavery times, when the women used to mourn about their child being taken away and sold to a different slave master, or if one of the family members did something that resulted into them getting whipped or killed, most of these things used to happen in the evening time, when a child was sold off or somebody was getting whipped for something. Slaves used to cry about what happened all night long. The white slave masters, the oppressors, will wake up in the morning time and they'll tell the slaves, did you have a good morning? Basically, did you have a good cry out? The white oppressors came up with good morning
Okay, now let's
as a
actually
mockery.
check where that came from. Because I don't know where it came from, guys. I have no clue where did it come from. Where did the phrase good... No, actually, where did the word morning originate from? Morning. English morn, English evening. Middle English from morn on the pattern of evening. Okay. Old English morgen of Germanic origin. Literally term for morning. Noun morn. Plural nouns morns. Began in the modern English words morning and tomorrow began in Middle English as morning, developing into morgen, basically like the German saying, then more, and eventually morrow. English, unlike some other languages, has separate terms for morning and tomorrow, despite their common root. Proto-Germanic word murnigans, which meant at first the half of the day and first came into English as morn, being the opposite of eve, which was the last half of the day. What the fuck are you talking about? Literally, what are you talking about? Again, look at how I talk about this. I didn't immediately say that the person was wrong because I didn't know that. I went my check. I checked my the info that I knew, and I see that everything said over here is so bullshit that I'm not even going to listen to this. I'm not. I'm sorry. Bye.
Anyway, historically linked to slavery.
I would argue that the phrase good morning was present in the English language for centuries prior. For example, it's used in the Canterbury Tales, which was written in the 14th century.
The earliest evidence for good morning is from around 1450, over 150 years before black slaves got to North America. See where it says C 1200? So it's saying around 1200 is when this word was
I didn't know that they're going to explain it, so that's why I took it in my own hands.
Actually used or first used far before 1619, which remember was when the first slaves got here.
Like, is it racist for white people to want to only date white people? So the answer is no, unless we're talking about a situation where a white person really likes somebody who's not white and they stop themselves and they go, no, they're inferior. Yeah, that's racist. But if you have...
True. That is something that I just wanted to make the comment on, and Misha did say it correctly. For example, is it discriminative to only date blondes because you like blondes. No, it's not. But is it discriminative to stop and not date, I don't know, a redhead? Because at this moment you're like, I can't date her. Like you have feelings for her, right? You like her, but then you say, but I can't do this. I can't have it because she's redhead. That is discriminative. Same here.
Have a racial preference, as do many people, white people, Asian people, black people, whatever. That is not racist.
White people do not have an overarching culture. If you were to say that, like, if you were a specific white ethnicity and you only want to date within your ethnicity, that's different because that's for cultural reasons. But if you're white saying you only want to date white people, that's incredibly suspicious to me, and you should check your racial bias.
That's the same thing. I'm a white person, and I've spotted that usually I don't like people of other races. Like, I don't know why. Maybe call me racist. Call me racist. I have never had a crush on a person of another race. Does that make me racist? If in your definition it does, well, I hope it makes you sleep more comfortable at night.
I don't get why the double standards here. So if a minority says I'm only dating within my own race, that's seen as them wanting to preserve their culture, and that's a-okay. However, if white people want to do the same thing, that's exclusionary. That's racist. When your team cares about diversity but don't want to do the work to be inclusive, do the work. What's the work? We're already banning white people and men from applying to certain jobs. What's the work? Why do you use white to make fun of her?
There was confusion. I do want to clear it up for you. Because a lot of times it's white people who target people who are not white.
Girl, do you need like a cough drop? What's going on?
White people.
Okay.
Like a lot. Because, racism.
So that's fine. Her saying white like she's a cat with like a hairball, right? Like she's almost vomiting from just having to say white. But picture a white person saying Asian, black, like in a weird way, just with disgust.
White.
I don't understand why you would do that. But this is fine.
Somebody should write a book about how much space.
Because we don't give a flying fuck. Like, honestly, I genuinely don't know, Misha, where do you find these guys? I don't see them on TikTok. I sit on TikTok. I don't watch TikTok, but I use it for my work. I don't see these people. I don't. And then you show up and you put them on. We're like, I look at them, think, okay, you exist. Bye.
White people take up on a sidewalk. I really think it is such an interesting
You
thing
are white.
to observe just out in nature. I feel like even with the least spatially aware black or brown person, white people possess even less spatial awareness. Anytime there's somebody in my way here in Chicago, it is a white person.
Fixating on the white people because you seem to hate them so much, so that anytime you're on the street, you notice the skin color and you say, oh, white person alert, I'm in danger. That's the oppressor. I'm the oppressed.
To be honest, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. Come on, Mish. I know what you're trying to do. Doesn't look nice. Let's not do it.
This lack of spatial awareness has led to all of the white women who are claiming Chicago's like really unsafe for them. They've had all these scary things happen.
Why do you think Chicago's unsafe?
Okay, I take my words back, Misha. Go on. Go full rant on her. I missed that part about I missed the unsafe part and etc. Go on.
Can we be for real? Like, can we actually look at the crime statistics and what's going on there? Can we talk about the violent crime? No, we can't. It's the white people and their lack of spatial awareness. That is what's causing the crime in Chicago. Wow. Okay. I mean, if you want to be delusional, you can be delusional.
You lack spatial awareness. You don't even understand how people are perceiving you, and therefore you don't know when you're being perceived as a target. Just to make sure I'm crystal clear when I say this, I am not by any means blaming women for what is happening. This is, of course, a man's problem.
Of course.
It's like I can't even take this serious anymore, guys. I can't. It sounds like a parody. I'm sorry. Can't take it serious. No. I can't.
evil white people and evil men.
Takes care of the problem of like letting people around you go around you, you know, when you're walking really slow on the side.
If you're evil and you're white, clap your hands. If you're evil and you're white, clap your hands.
Walk at your own pace, I don't care. But
if you're evil and you're white, you're a racist and a sexist. If you're evil and you're white, clap your hands.
You know, if you feel that somebody's behind you and they're trying to get around you, move.
If you feel like someone's behind you, move. They're gonna have to go around because I can't see them, right? I don't know about you, but when you want to walk around somebody, you want to go your own pace and people are walking slower, you say, "Excuse me," and you walk around them. You walk past them. Is that so difficult? I personally have never thought, no, that
yes,
person.
Exactly. Because if you're evil and you're white, clap your hands. If you're evil and you're white, clap your hands. This is gonna be my new song.
They look Asian.
It's actually gonna be my new song when we are watching Misha. I'm gonna write this down. If you're evil and you're white, clap your hands.
Yeah, that's why. They look black. That's why. They're white. That's why. I've never ever done that. I don't understand this. You guys are obsessed with race. White people don't eat correctly. It's racist how they eat. White people don't walk correctly. If you remember that other video, white people smile too much. Yeah, when they smile, it's because they're racist.
Video.
They see what.
I know. I remember another video that we watched. Okay, my bad.
It's inferior if they're smiling at you. White people don't smile at you. They're racist. Well, moral of the story is, don't be racist. And that's all for today's video, guys. Please let me know what you think.
Moral of the story is that if you're evil and you're white, clap your hands. Moral of the story that people are gonna see you as evil and white a lot of the time. So might as well not care. Just be you, do your work, and live your life. Guys, this was Zyno today with you. We have had an amazing hour. I was considering to watch a fur reaction now, which we did have. We were supposed to talk about religion and stuff like this, but honestly, and I mean honestly, I am tired, and we'll get more as time goes. So I'm gonna go to bed now, and we are gonna watch this reaction on our next Misha Petrov reaction. I hope it's a good deal for you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel now and write a comment if you liked the video or if you didn't. It doesn't really matter. What matters is for you to comment, to give some sort of feedback. And yeah, I think I'm done with the stream and with the reactions for tonight. Very, very happy. So guys, thank you all for tuning in here today, and I will see you in my other reactions.